In the top left of the map here on Merry-Go-Round Ladder Edition, it is our purple Zerg, Anuzarg.
And in the top right of Merry-Go-Round, in the Laggy Merry-Go-Round, is our orange, also Zerg, Montasaurus. Sorry, have fun.
Okay, well, this would be a pretty interesting matchup. I've never been able to see Montasaurus play before, really. So, at least not in this matchup.
And we haven't seen his EVZ in a while either, so.
No, and actually, I guess this is the second one for today because we had the Night Fox versus
The Probe
Toss. Yeah.
The Probe Zerg.
The Probe Zerg. Yeah, and this is gonna be pretty interesting because this matchup can turn into some really nice macro battles, and sometimes or it can turn into like a really people just die.
Yes.
Without any ceremony whatsoever.
Understood that. So they're both up to. Are they both going hatch first?
Let's see. They both hit 15. We're not seeing a spawning pool just yet. Yeah, I think they're both going hatch first. In fact, yeah. Look at those drones just go out at basically the same time, and boop, boop, boop. Hatchery.
And Montasaurus is actually going for a gas as well.
Yeah. Gas then into pool. Probably see Anuzarg go pool then into gas. And then from there, it's gonna vary. Depends on whether one person wants Balings, another person wants Roaches, another person's gonna try an earlier Ling attack.
Ooh, still very coordinated. They're almost exactly the same.
Yep. This difference in gas and then pool, or pool and then gas, isn't probably going to be too tremendous, except that one person will be able to get, specifically Montasaurus, can grab all of his upgrades a little bit quicker.
Mm-hmm.
And just realized, yeah, Anuzarg's behind on the pool as well. Like, that might just have been a slight macro error, though, just judging by how many minerals he happens to have. He is playing from Asia at the moment, though, so you could be dealing with some interesting lag.
Oh, yeah. Especially on the North American side of things.
Mm-hmm. For those, I think he mentioned this in the chat earlier, that he was actually vacationing in Asia. Didn't say where. But that distance is still going to be pretty significant, regardless. Oddly enough, it seems like most of the lag is actually coming from Montasaurus, who unfortunately has this drone who's only pretending like he's working right now. Just kind of hanging out in the mineral line, following this one drone around.
Slacker!
I thought he fixed that rally point, because I saw him do that earlier, and then he moved it, and I was like, oh, huh.
He's just kind of...
Whatever.
Just kind of high-fiving him every time he turns around. He's like a cheerleader.
Pretty much, and basically, this doesn't seem like it matters a lot, but if it stays like this for 5 minutes, it's a lot of minerals he didn't have. Pretty huge amount, in fact.
Lings out of the map for both players now. Montasaurus has speed on the way.
Looks like Anuzarg is pushing forward a little bit here with his Lings, at least trying to take the central watchtower. Notice that there's notice the location of his opponent. Notice that there's a natural there as well. Should see the amount of drones and be pretty comfortable that they're at about the same place at the moment. Speed is just about to finish, though.
Spinecrawler go down for Montasaurus. Preemptive defense.
Yep, and he's got speedlings out on the map, so he's going to be able to see some map control here. Wings of Anuzarg, unfortunately. Yeah, I need to get out of there. Cannot stay and fight without speed. And I think he's actually going to lose most of this. These two are going to get back here. There's no Spinecrawler here to help, and... Uh-oh. This could turn out to be pretty ugly. Wings immediately going for the Queen here. Going to chomp that down very quickly. One of them dies in the process, and he's going to start taking out drones at the same time. Anuzarg's speed is also finished now, but he doesn't have very many Lings to actually help this out. The Lings of Montasaurus are trying to do what they can to the drones. Not really able to kill any of them, but they did at least drive mining out of this location, not to mention kill a bunch of Lings in the process.
That half a second, or more like 30 seconds where he had speed, really changed this whole thing.
Really did, and you know, it's not just that. It's actually there's about Montasaurus sensed weakness for a moment there, one for both queens, and then immediately one in the drone. So as far as he's concerned, he's done enough damage to try and get himself a small lead from here, and then he's going to try and build up his forces back home. Anuzarg, however, has built a lot of lings. He's put down 3 spine crawlers, and should really consider moving out across the map with these to do some counter damage, or he's actually just going to fall slowly behind.
Looks like he's doing just that too. Big group of lings coming out, reinforced by, well, maybe not reinforced. Wait. Nope. Yes.
This I'm not totally comfortable with from Montasaurus here. This third base is incredibly risky. These lings moving forward here, even if they don't get any damage done up here, like they'll run up there and go, oh, look at those spine crawlers. They can turn around and just kill that. And hello, ling's actually hanging out right here. There's actually not too much in the way of defenses here. He can do a lot of damage right now. Looks like he's going to try and pull lings out of position. Doesn't know about the third yet, hasn't checked it yet either, and this is actually working out pretty nicely for Montasaurus as long as he gets that base.
Roach Warren behind this for Anuzarg too, so this aggression is going to change pretty soon.
Yeah, it looks like Montasaurus wants to go for from this into Roach Tech. Not in a real position to do that just quite yet, though. Meanwhile, back home, Anuzarg is doing the same. Roach Warren just finished. Won't have the upgrades anywhere near as quickly as this opponent, though, and I think Montasaurus is just putting himself into a commanding position here. Anuzarg could get a lot of damage done right now, though. Again, if he just knew about that base.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have an Overlord position. He doesn't have a Ling down there. He has no idea, and he's just going to move back to the Watchtower.
If only he'd just look for 2 seconds.
So Overlord's moving the wrong direction. This one isn't doing anything, and he's driving this Overlord out of the base as best he can. I wonder if that Queen is just... Here's the thing. Queens will kind of follow for a little bit if they've actually been told to attack. I mean, if they have been told to attack, but if they've been told to attack, they will actually follow it out onto the map, which, you know, obvious difference. But on some maps, the Overlord can still kind of get away, and then the Queen will just sort of be slowly walking around and standing there doing nothing. It can actually get you in a lot of trouble if you're not careful.
Slacker Queens. Everybody's slacking today. The drones, the Queens. What's going on?
Wheel reconstitution been started by Anuzarg. Montasaurus is now supply blocked, so third's being picked up by Anuzarg. He's pretty far behind, though.
He's going for missile attacks and ground carapace, though. And they are almost complete.
Yep. Once Montasaurus has those, he has a very, very powerful army. So he's going to move out. Yeah, it looks like he's going to try and move out with that timing there. Nope, just with the lings first.
Anuzarg expanding twice.
This is okay. This is definitely overkill, unfortunately, because he's gonna wish he had that money for units in just a second. Anyway, yeah, can engage against this. Ling's moving back, going to sacrifice their Roach buddies to the Montasaurus horde. Move back up to the high ground where there's 3 queens, 2 spine crawlers. A little bit of a difficult location to attack into, but Montasaurus is he gonna check for a third base? His own speed is actually just about to finish and. Wait, that is for Anuzarg, sorry. Yeah.
That's okay. You've had a long day.
I was looking at the spikes on the back of his roaches, and I'm like, oh, they didn't change. That's right, because they're already there. Let's see. Looks like both players are actually oblivious as to the other person's expansions. And as far as we're concerned, that's going to mean this is going to be actually a pretty passive game for a while here. Upgrades, 1-1 been started for Anuzarg, 2-2 being started for Montasaurus. There's going to be a brief period of time where he should have an incredible +1/+1 lead in both armor and weapons. Question will be, will he take advantage of it?
Anuzarg pushing for Burrow. Burrowed roaches?
Burrow Roaches would be a good idea, I think, all things considered. Burrow Movement is a different upgrade, though. Not seeing him grab that, but Burrow Roaches against non-Burrow Roaches, very, very, very powerful. It's like Blink Stalkers versus non-Blink Stalkers. Blink's running forward here and actually getting slaughtered without the rest of the army here. Ooh. Not really able to get anything done with that. And but they do
they see this base.
which which he knows he's going to have to do something about. He's trying to kill some workers, doesn't really get more than maybe one there. The rest of the Roach army isn't going to move into trying to accomplish anything. And we're going to keep going from there.
12 more roaches on the way for Montasaurus. Also, the yeah, you're right. He's going for level 2 of each of those. That's really going to hurt.
Road speed just about to finish for Montasaurus for reals this time. Along with Burrow.
Hydralisk Den going down for Anuzarg. It's going to be nice with the roaches tanking. They're both just kind of setting up their tech right now. They're not really doing anything.
Well, ooh, he's going to attack before this finishes.
He's going to cut the reinforcements off.
Unfortunately, we have the ultimate anti-timing from Montasaurus here. He's going to attack before 2-2 is finished and right after 1-1 finishes for Anuzarg units. So for a brief period of time here, their armies are completely equal, and he's gotten kind of surrounded. So this back army is going to get killed here. Any reinforcements are going to have to walk straight through Anuzarg's army to get there. But nonetheless, it seems like the army size is just too much for Anuzarg here.
Too much stuff syndrome.
And upgrades are done. And now we're just going to see the purple Zerg Roach army just fold really, really quickly. And with that, he's probably going to lose at least the space. I'd be amazed if he could somehow hold this. No, I don't think any amount of micro, really. He does have Burrow. I think he'd be forgetting that he has Burrow.
I think he is forgetting. He could easily burrow those.
Montasaurus does have detection here, so I don't think it would actually make too much difference. Except that at least the shots would be directed towards roaches that have more health. In any case, he is about to hold it, but, you know, roach count from Montasaurus is still staying pretty strong. He has a really nice concave here against Anuzarg's army. Slowly pushing things back. The upgrades coming into play here.
Roaches keep streaming in, but they keep dying piecemeal here.
I think this is a situation that without these upgrades being the way they are, Anuzarg would just be barely holding this. But instead, I think we're going to see him just barely fall over. If Montasaurus' macro keeps up, which it looks like it hasn't quite been able to.
Yep, he's running high on minerals right now. That could have actually, I think, won him the game.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, if nothing else, at least a burst of lings. Send them over into the natural, into the main base. They're doing a lot of damage, while the rest of the Roach army is being held in place over here. And a viable option. But, you know, actually, judging by the energy on the Queens, it looks like Montasaurus' injects are not able to keep quite up with what he needs to really use all this money that he's taken in. Not that Anuzarg is in a much better position, but just actually he is. He's doing a slightly better job of this. So we're seeing that the mechanical end of things, Anuzarg is slightly better in one element, while Montasaurus is a little better in probably managing his drones. You can see he has a few more than his opponent. And of course, in grabbing those upgrades. 2-2 is just about to finish for Anuzarg here, and he's grabbing that Hydra tech as well.
Yep, they're both getting Hydras, so the DPS is going to come into play here. But, looks like... Ooh...
Okay, well, he has more than enough extra overlords at the back of that. Not going to get supply blocked anytime soon. We'll lose this one as well, though. Anuzarg is just going to fall back from here. Looks like he wants to get out some more forces before an actual fight happens. He's going to try and protect his location again. Interesting place to expand to. I actually think that this is not necessarily a bad move, but maybe actually grabbing the other unused domain might be a little bit better. Just because this is going to be scouted the instant the engagement happens, and it can be picked off pretty easily.
Montasaurus pushing up an infestation pit.
So this could be for any number of things. I mean, one thing is that he could just be trying to grab that in order to get up to 3-3, because he needs that in order to get Hive Tech.
Are we gonna see Swarm Hosts?
He could go Swarm Hosts, he could go Infestors. I mean, it really all depends on probably what he thinks is cool, to be honest, with most players.
The rule of cool, yes.
If he could be trying to break up into Ultra Tech, he does have 5 bases worth of gas. 4 bases worth of gas. Okay, he can't quite afford it then. You actually literally need that much gas.
4 bases, yeah. Ultras are expensive. What are they, 300 each?
They're 200 each.
200 each.
And it may not necessarily seem like a lot, but on this many bases, just what he has right now, he's getting about on the income here, he has about 700-ish gas, so you could grab 3 per cycle, basically, 2 or 3 per cycle. And then if he had another base on top of that, he could maybe get closer to 4. But the thing is that uses all of your gas, and you can't bank at all while you're doing it. So it limits your options a bit. But it's also very powerful, of course. The problem is that the upgrades are focused on ranged units. So the Ultras would have no attack upgrade. Well, with that going on, Ling's back to Montasaurus' army, not able to engage. Well,
so many more Hydras for Montasaurus, though.
Half the army is not able to engage, and Anuzarg has a slightly better position, or at least has one for a moment. Unfortunately, he doesn't have quite as much stuff. And once again, we're seeing our purple Zerg fall back to his base. More Hydras actually moving out to the front here, and engaging at quite the awkward angle. Pressure's not really able to do much here. They don't have quite the energy necessary for fungal growth, being pushed back up onto the creep. So...
there we go, fungal growth.
There it is.
Those Hydras go down.
Anuzarg needs to change this rally point. It's just giving units to his opponent at this point. This is not going to work out in his favor at all. Not to mention that the creep sped connects back to Montasaurus' army, which means that as long as they fight in the middle, Montasaurus actually has defenders advantage as well. He's getting faster reinforcements pretty much constantly than Anuzarg will be. And no, he's not changing that rally point. Just continuing to lose unit after unit after unit. And the army supply difference has become incredibly big.
Yep, and the resources lost heavily in favor of Montasaurus. And
by about
GG.
7,000, and yeah, and it's already this he can't keep up. Throws out the GG, so it looks like he may not actually mean it. Ah, he's typing. There we go.
Oh, his new Roach Hydra was the best comp.